Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Now, we'll jump to my report for this week first. So, you've seen me get giddy. We're working on our 18th year right now. The Deschutes is one of my favorite places in the whole world. I grew up on that river. I think the first time I fished it, I was probably 11, 12, somewhere in there. And we got real serious about that river for about 6 or 8 years there. And then since that point, it is, I mean, really, it's just a drawback that you can't, it's impossible to even explain it. And then, of course, to see the demise of the Deschutes and what they've done to that river the last 10, 15 years now, even more, is so sad. I mean, it really is. Remembering back to the days where you never saw smallmouth bass, you wouldn't even consider a walleye being in that river. Well, they're there now, let alone rocks that are so slippery and slimy that they're absolutely dangerous. I mean, it's something that you should never see on a cold river like that. But the steelhead fishing this year, pretty good. Well, when we get to the fish counts, you'll see why. Go ahead. We've got a quick video here that Don New from Hatchery and Wild put together for us. It was a really good day. We'll get to that in a second. I mean, just a fantastic time. And I've talked about it, of course, for a long time, if you've been paying any attention. Typically the last, I don't even know, the last 10 years or so, maybe even a little bit longer, any trips that I've been able to make over there, if you're able to land on, on a personal level between 4 to 7, that's absolutely stellar. And back in the day, it was double digits per person. And it's just not that way anymore. But we actually went 10 for 11. I was super excited about that, and we didn't spend as much time fishing as we actually could have. And then it got so hot that we were like, bye-bye. I mean, it got hot. By the time I got back to the truck, it was 106 with no wind. Now, if you've ever been over in that part of the world and it's triple digits and no wind, yeah, it got hot in a hurry. But Brad Staples is obviously an absolute master running up and down that river, which drives me nuts. But I can tell you right now, there ain't no way I'm taking my Willie Raptor up and down that thing. Oh, my God. So a couple of times I picked a line. I was like, okay, that's the line that I would take. And he goes completely opposite for a reason. You make a mistake on that river, it's over in a hurry. Let's, real quickly, though, I wanted to show my photo, of course, right? But here's the report part of it I got to get in there. Look at the face of that steelhead. By the way, biggest fish of the day. Everybody out there that was on the trip, you still owe me $1. But yeah, 3.5 mag lip. Now, if I get on that river, all you got to do is just give me one bait casting rod and a size 4 blue fox and leave me alone. That's all I need. I will fish that all day long and have as much confidence in anything that you could ever give me. Bobber and jig. Never even threw bobber and jig. That's what happens when you fish with a guide. You got to kind of do what they tell you. That was actually a 3.5 mag lip behind a side planer. He is Mr. Staples, that is, very, very well known for wanting to run side planers with his clients. And I get it. When you got clients that can't cast and everything's a nightmare, putting a rod in their hand where they're just holding a side planer, I totally get it. I couldn't believe how deadly effective that was, mainly because I haven't spent any time fishing that way since probably the early 90s, late 80s, for crying out loud. It had to be the late 80s. I'm throwing a spinner. But very, very effective. Don't overlook that. If you still have one of those old Lure Jensen side planers somewhere, because apparently they don't make them anymore, Brad kind of cornered the market on them. Figure out how to use it the right way. If you have questions on that, I'll line you out. but deadly effective. And the bite, watching that thing when it's 30 yards away from you just disappear and all of a sudden shoot downriver is pretty cool. I will admit, I will much rather throw a spinner or a bobber and jig all day long, but it is extremely effective. Okay, now, proud dad moment. I've got a young daughter. You all know me. Take a look at this. You can see that. That's her first, not her first shot. She's already broken a few targets, but this is her first opportunity to actually shoot a shotgun. Right there, she's actually shooting a 12 gauge. She started out with a 20, did so well that we just moved her up to actually a real trap gun. And out of 25, she shot more than half of those on her very first attempt. Super, super cool. Very good. And you can see there that she's a lefty. I'm not much of a teacher on anything. Here's my advice. If you want to get your kids into shooting a shotgun the right way, get a professional, Wayne, who is right there coaching her. And we're going to be going back again a couple more times before the season gets into full swing. She's already well advanced from where I probably would have gotten her. And she doesn't get mad at me because it's not me teaching her, right? Y'all get what I'm saying? Super cool to see her do that. She did extremely well. Wasn't scared of the shotgun at all. Anyway, probably all the training that she's had. Safety training, rifle, all that stuff. Who knows? Anyway, Willamette, we put that back in because now you're starting to see coho numbers go up, right? There's a lot of folks that pay attention to that, a number of different reasons for that, and we won't even talk about the steelhead totals. Taking a look at Bonneville, the numbers there. This gets a little concerning, but I have an excuse, okay? But I'm not gonna, make too many excuses for it. If you take a look at the fall Chinook numbers going over Bonneville, they started to ramp up very, very consistently, and then they fell apart. Now, they've got the kill nets on the river every day. I mean, literally every day, down 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 1, 2 zones, 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 and 5. They've already had a fishery on the main stem Columbia with the kill nets. That is one of the reasons why you're seeing these numbers go down. Alongside that, the last couple of days, here's my excuse, is you had a weather change and they dropped the flow at Bonneville. That can sometimes have an impact on the migration of the fish going over the dam. That's where I'm going to keep my head right now. And for the folks that were sending messages that were so upset about the kill net fishery on on fall Chinook on the Columbia River, listen, the CCA has been involved in this since 2010, for crying out loud. They work on this daily. Okay, this is a fight that's never going to end. Send whatever you can to anybody up in Washington, because it's Washington that is allowing this to happen. Believe it or not, Oregon was the state that said no, but Washington has allowed this to happen. It's absolutely insane that we still allow this fishery on the main stem Columbia. It is what it is, but I'm holding on to that excuse. The reason why we had such good fishing on the Deschutes, because it's at 101,000 right now, well above the 10-year average. So super exciting to see that. Of course, river levels, not too exciting here. The only thing that I'm going to say about the Columbia, the Willamette's not a huge issue currently, or at least on the radar of everyone. The grass is just absolutely relentless, out of the dead zone in particular. It seems like the closer you get to Bonneville, and then if you get into the estuary, obviously it's not nearly as bad. But if you're in the dead zone where I'm spending my time, it's 10 minutes. And then you got to check your gear, because you'll literally watch your rod thump and it's down. I mean, it's just one of those years. Low water, very, very warm, and that's just how that grass gets ripping. And then, of course, with those tall tides like that, it just makes it very, very difficult. It's like a 2-hour fishery, because by the time you're done in 2 hours, I'm out of there. It just gets that frustrating. Bonneville, they did drop the water the last couple of days, so not too dramatic there, as usual. Procure, don't forget to send Jason an email, jason@procure.com, and you'll be entered in to win that prize pack from Procure. And yes, you will be using it for a while. We got some really good fishing opportunities coming up that we're right in the middle of currently. All right, let's check in with Drew Reeves. We haven't talked with Drew for a little while. Drew, it's good to see you. Look, what do we got going on for our weather this week?
It'll be warm eventually, or hot, I should say. It is warm today and the next few days, but below average. We're in the upper 70s. It's 67 right now on that Rivermark camera, and you can see pretty cloudy outside. We've seen some sun this morning, but those clouds have moved in. We'll see kind of partly cloudy skies through quite a bit of the day today. Not much rain in the valleys at all, but out along the coast around Astoria, we're getting some more shower activity, and east of the Cascades is where we're seeing most of the rain, and you can see some lines of or areas of heavier rain. We do have a flash flood watch that is in effect for central and eastern Oregon because of that rain that we're seeing this morning. But here's what we saw overnight: 0.15 inches of rain in Portland. Troutdale was the wettest of the metro with just over 0.3 of an inch, but it has been a soaker along the coast. We got 1.6 inches in Astoria, Tillamook a little bit below that, and in Astoria, we could add even just a little bit more today to that total. Mainly, we're just seeing some isolated showers out along the coast. We're done with it here in the valleys. We'll get more sunshine into this afternoon. Our high about 77 degrees, into the upper 70s through about Monday. Clouds to start the day, more sunshine into the afternoon, and then we'll get sunnier days into next week. By Thursday, we're into the mid to upper 80s, and then Friday, hottest day of our forecast, and could be the hottest day in the next 10 days or so. We're looking at about 90 degrees for the high there. Owen?
At least it's not 100 again. I'm darn
no
happy not to see triple digits.
Yeah.
But that's got to be why it's so muggy this morning after the rain, and then it's going to warm up a little bit.
Yep, exactly. And it's a warm start to the day. We're in those upper 60s. Normally, we'd be quite a bit cooler.
Very good. Drew, thank you very much. We appreciate all the information as always.